Hey,
Hey, hey,
it finally worked.
yay, good. Thank you so much for doing this. I
Sure.
really appreciate it. And that picture, you just posted a picture of me on Facebook. That is so beautiful and awesome.
You're welcome. It's cool.
And you know I'm a crier, so I'm like sitting here like, okay, don't cry, don't cry. So after this interview, I'm totally just gonna be like waterworks everywhere. But
Funny.
I imagine you guys are crazy busy.
Always, always
Yeah.
busy.
Well, you guys have Top Earners Academy coming up in June,
Yep.
June 12th to 14th. So does that take a lot of your guys' time to put that all together, or do you have a team of people working doing that?
We have a few people for sure. I mean, last year was definitely more hectic. It was our first time, so we did everything. So yeah, it's definitely better this year. We've doubled the size, so
Awesome.
it'll still be an adventure, but yeah, we're excited.
Awesome. That's so good. Okay, well, for those of you who don't know Ray, even though I talk about you all the time on my blog, it's pretty much all I talk about is what I learned from you. So, but I mean, in my opinion and in the opinion of a lot of people, you're basically one of the best coaches and trainers out there for network marketing. And the value that you put out there is amazing. People just totally go crazy for it, and you guys are just awesome. So, your wife
Thank you.
is the beautiful Jessica Higdon.
Yep.
And I took her 10K social media course. She is awesome at recruiting on social media. And you guys are just a total, wonderful example of a husband and wife working together and doing it beautifully. And you guys support each other. And I think you're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we just finished. I'm a graduate of Top Earner
Yes.
Success School. And so that was 90 days, 3 months basically
Yep.
of us learning from you. And so for me, it was amazing value, and we got to see lots of people grow. And the first module was on vision. So for yourself, was it when you finally sat down and created a vision for yourself that you saw things happen, or was that something that you always had done in your life?
Um, you know, it's like I had done it in my life in different ways. First of all, it's always changing. It's always growing. You can only see as far as you can see, basically.
Right.
And so your vision does change. It's been the periods of my life where I didn't have a vision where life wasn't great. And so, for a period of time, I went through a kind of a woe is me phase where I'd lost everything and I really didn't know what I was going to do. So it was this wishy-washy, what's going to happen now kind of thing, rather than have something pulling me to go and take massive action. And
Right.
so, that's really when it started for me inside this profession is July 2009, where I just got tired of not living on purpose and not having a life that was rewarding and powerful. And I just decided, okay, I'm going to run with this thing. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to run as hard as I can. And then it kind of evolved from there.
Right. Well, in that first module, I think it was almost 3 hours, and it just it was so amazing though. Like that was the fastest 3 hours I've ever been through, and just I think right from the beginning, everybody just was so excited from there because everybody started that course with just the ability to see further than they've ever seen before.
Yeah.
And I think that first course was just amazing for everybody, and everybody could have finished there and probably gone on and had huge success, right? But pretty amazing. Did you always want to transition from network marketing into training and coaching, or is that something that just happened as you went along?
It's kind of been for as long as I can remember. I've always loved being a teacher. And I mean, since before network marketing, when I was in real estate, I used to teach real estate classes. Before real estate, I used to teach, believe it or not, information technology classes. So I actually used to kind of sub for one of my college professors. And so I've always enjoyed teaching. And so I don't know that I ever didn't teach inside network marketing, because even when I was just solely focused on my network marketing company, I still taught. I still did webinars. I still did conference calls and things like that for the team. It's just now we're doing it in probably a little bit bigger fashion. And so I just really I get a lot of benefit out of teaching and coaching. And so we definitely enjoy that. As far as so if I can add a little bit to that, we made the decision to branch into teaching and coaching because I really like the creative control, and I like what I don't like is the let me only train my team. I like the idea of thinking abundantly and thinking, hey, there's an entire profession out there that we could add value to. So let's not keep it so, hey, just because you're not my team, we're not going to teach you. Let's teach the profession, raise the level of network marketing as a whole versus just our particular team. And so we do both. We're still active in a network marketing company, but we just publicly only really market our coaching and training.
Right. Well, and I think so many people are watching you do that and are just, following you in that, and you're like enabling so many people to do things. Even myself, like I would have never imagined doing a video blog or think that I had anything to talk about until you really, you listen to what you say and that invest, learn, teach, and it's like, yeah, I can share what I'm learning with people. It's not just for myself, and like you say, you put the value out there, you get it back so much, right? So
absolutely.
Okay, what was the next question? We watch people grow so much in TESS. What for you was the best part of TESS? Like, what did you take away from it the most?
Initially it was, we had probably 30 or 40 people create their first video. And for me, I didn't know it would have that kind of impact because, there's like, I don't know, you're first. When you get someone from here to over there, it's just like, that's really cool. And, obviously I have no idea who's going to continue on and do daily videos or videos often or whatever. But just the fact that something in that course got people to do their first was a very big deal. I think, one of my highlights, and we have, just hundreds of testimonials from that because we generate testimonials every single session. But one of my favorites, I love Eric Newman's, where he's been in network marketing direct sales for 18 years, and he had his very first $1,000 plus month in just April, and he thanked us and everything, and that's really cool. If you can help someone, because if you can help someone at that level, there's a lot of people I know that have been in network marketing for 10 plus years that have yet to have $1,000 a month. And so what that does is it gives hope to everybody. It's like it's never too late. You always have the possibility of changing your level of success no matter how long you've been in the game. And that's a really important lesson for other people to see. So I would say the combination of, I love Eric's transformation, and also getting so many people to create their first video was really cool.
Yeah, no kidding. And for him, I just can't imagine how fulfilling that would have been for him, to be able to say that and just to have that pay off after so long, and just that, yeah, if you don't give up, it's going to happen at some point for you. So during TESS, you did a couple of major webinars, one with Kevin Harrington and one with Russ Whitney, that you said were, big moments for you, and those people are your mentors. Do you still get nervous ever before webinars? Or I know before you had said you had a fear of public speaking way back before you did some training. Do you still get that way ever?
It depends. It depends on the scenario. I was definitely nervous to meet Kevin when I very first met him at his house, and I only know him from Shark Tank, and so we go in his house, and there were 5 groups of people that had flown in to pitch their idea to him. And he's just like sitting on a stool in his living room, and all these people are pitching ideas at him. And so it was a little, and it was a humongous condo right on the beach. So it was a little intimidating. So I was definitely nervous to meet him. As far as, when it comes to, I pretty quickly knew, at least with Kevin, I pretty quickly knew that we were really one and the same, because his main focus was, hey, I'll do this webinar, but I want to make sure it's of value to your audience. So, we speak the same language. When I know my audience so well, I just knew it'd be a home run, and so that went well. Russ is interesting because we've had connections kind of passing by. We've had little connections for years, but we've never really spent a whole lot of time together, or really much at all together. So, him I was a little bit more familiar with, not as nervous. Here's the interesting thing is if I'm running the show, I don't get that nervous. If I'm not, if I'm like a guest at an event where I don't really know people, I can be a little bit nervous. Or interestingly enough, if I'm in a room and you're kind of going down the aisles, like, okay, you speak, you speak, you speak, that makes me nervous too. So it's weird. I don't know if it's a control thing. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely still times where I get nervous.
Yeah, totally. No, I get that way too when you just sit there and you think, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? You don't even listen to the other people that are talking. You're just sitting there waiting for your turn.
Right.
And so also your blogs, I've mentioned before, are hilarious. You've added a lot of comedy to them. Have you found that increased your following or your engagement from the people who are watching your blogs or reading your blogs?
I don't know. It's something that that wasn't my point of doing it. So you always want to know why you do things and what's the purpose. My purpose wasn't actually to, hey, I hope this increased readership or I hope more people will follow my blog now. It was actually to be more me, because people that I regularly hang out with, they'll say, man, you're freaking hilarious, but people don't know it. And, like my buddy Mark Hoverson, he says, man, you should do stand-up. I'm going to talk you into doing stand-up one day. And, but I didn't always get that across. And I still don't always get it across, in my blogs and videos and things like that. So I just decided, I'm like, you know what? I just want to be more me. And whatever that translates to is whatever it translates to. So I don't know. We've recently really bumped up our traffic. Our traffic is on a daily basis is up about 25-30% just since last month. And I don't think that's from the comedy. I'm not sure exactly, but we've been pretty aggressively building the list. Added 2,500 new leads last month, which was our record. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting more because of comedy, but I like it.
Yeah, me too. I think it's awesome, and I think like you're teaching us something, and it's fun and it's exciting, and you look forward to the next one, just to see what you guys are going to be up to, right? So,
yeah.
And so, are you planning? I know you've got Make Money blogging out there already, and I advertise that on my blog. Are you going to come up with an updated one, or is that still pretty current, and people can follow that step by step and get it going today?
It's definitely still current. I purposely created it so that it wouldn't go out of style. So I talk a lot about the importance of the concept. So the concept of blogging and where to come up with content. We're definitely kicking around the idea of coming out with a newer blogging product. We've learned different ways to get traffic. A lot of new ways to get more leads, and so I think this year we'll probably do a new product around blogging. No dates or anything like that though.
Yeah,
it would definitely be after Top Earner Academy.
Right. When you guys have some downtime, are you going to go away at all afterwards and get away, get some rest?
Well, we're going away nonstop.
Yeah, that's true.
I have this app. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's called Events. Yeah, you probably can't see it, but
oh no, I could. Yeah.
It gives me a countdown, and so in let's see, in 15 days I'm in Vegas for a buddy's birthday party. In 18 days I'm in Maui. In 35 days we have Top Earner Academy. We have a mastermind right before that. In 41 days Jamaica. In 79 days Mount Rushmore. And 121 days Alaskan cruise. So,
oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, we're all over nonstop, and
wow.
And then
yeah,
I think
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, and then my buddy he wants me to come over to Bali for his brother's wedding, which I've never even met. And I'm like, I don't know, So we stay busy for sure. We definitely believe in the lifestyle of seeing the world. You know, I'm excited. The Mount Rushmore trip is with my kids. I'm taking them there. They've wanted to go, and we're actually going to spend a day and a half with the Boys and Girls Club out there. So we're really excited for that. But we love traveling and seeing the world, and you know that's just what we do. We never stop doing that.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome. So at what point when you were doing your blogging, because a lot of people that watch my blog or read my blog, blog as well. So what point did you realize that your blog was a success? Was it when you started getting more daily leads, or did it just all of a sudden happen, or was it a gradual?
You know, I think it was when I started hearing people talk about it. And like I remember, because I just don't assume much. So like if I go to an event, I assume no one knows me, and I just whatever, just the way it is. And I remember I was at an event, I don't remember which one, but the speaker said, yeah, and then you have Ray Higdon's blog, which is awesome. And he started talking about it, and it's like, wow, this guy's talking about my blog. And then another guy emailed me, and he's like, hey, I was talking to people at my event about your blog. I'm like, wow, people are like talking about this. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I guess people kind of giving me input that they got value out of it, made sense. And I had never consulted with like a blogger, which is kind of silly. So I didn't really know what does it mean to have a successful blog. And so it was really just people telling me. And then I kind of realized, and I think I put even more energy into it since I was getting some feedback.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hope at some point I'm saying the same thing.
Well, you keep going. I mean, for a long time, no one noticed my blog. I mean, it was just there, and I just kept doing it because it made sense.
Yeah.
And so that's the deal. There's a couple other keys in there as far as connecting with leaders, investing in different courses, and going to different events and meeting people. So there's other elements of success, but that consistency, I think most people that would classify me as what's the key to his success, I think most people would say consistency. And
right.
We just pump out value nonstop, and we've just trained ourselves to create a lot of content and dole it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I say, I took Jessica's 10K social media course, and then I think the next thing I bought was live stream tickets for last year's Top Earners Academy. And you guys, just watching that, I think I just like sat there with my mouth open. It was like you guys made me think outside of the box of just my network marketing company, like in that there was so much possibility out there to interact with people and just take this to another level. So I really thank you guys for that, because I don't know at what point I would have realized that or, seen a bigger future for myself. So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we're just dedicated. And sometimes, I'll be honest, I don't know that all network marketers like our message, because kind of the old guard of network marketing is let's create a bunch of soldiers that all march to the beat. And I get it, that's cool. But we just like people to think big. And that's one of the reasons, like this year's Top Earner Academy, I mean, we have two guys that have generated over $1 billion in revenue. And so what do they have to do with network marketing? Not that much, but you can't get around them and not think bigger. And, so that's kind of our goal. Our goal is to get people to think big. I don't know what's on the other side of thinking big, but it's probably cool.
Yeah, no kidding. And so I hope it's okay for me to say this, that there's likely going to be another Top Earners Success School at some point in time.
Yeah, okay. No scheduled dates, but at some point.
Do you see it being something similar, or do you see anything that you would do differently, or that might change what people could expect?
No, judging from the feedback, there are definitely some tweaks I would make to some of the modules. Everyone loved vision, recruiting, team building. Not everyone loved, some of the more technical stuff. Not that we didn't really get that technical, but, So I think piggybacking off of that, and we would definitely make some changes. Some people didn't like it that it was so long. Some of the sessions were a little longer. I just wanted to pound so much value that it was just ridiculous. And I think, the refund rate on that was, I think we had like one refund. It was pretty crazy, maybe two out of hundreds and hundreds of people. So that's a really amazing refund rate. And it was funny, one of the guys, I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, those are really good. I just need money. And I'm like, okay, you can't get everyone to get it. But yeah, it was. There were a few changes we would make, but all in all, really impressed with the effort that everyone put through. And it was a test for us. I didn't know if anyone would buy it. Two, if people would like it, if we would like it. I just loved it. And so a lot of people are like, man, I miss the weekly webinars. I do too. I was in that groove, and I'm obviously we do webinars almost every week anyway, just with different audiences. It was nice building that relationship over 90 days.
It really was, for sure. And I mean, that's why you're so successful, is because you can feel that from you in the webinars. There was never any point where you sit there thinking, oh, he really doesn't want to be doing this. Like, you're just in it as much as we are, and you're excited, and everybody sits there and chats before it's about to go on, and everybody's just so pumped up. So it's awesome. And I think, like, you're so raw about your past and your life, and just it makes you so relatable that it's just, I mean, I can't imagine what's coming for you in the future.
Oh,
you're doing a podcast now, which is just awesome. I'm loving that every morning. And was that just something that came up? Were you planning that, or was it? I know you had just recently been in an event. Was it on internet marketing or something to do with the internet, right?
Yeah, I was the keynote speaker at this event called Internet Traffic Live in La Jolla, California. And one of the speakers was this guy, John Lee Dumas, who runs Entrepreneur on Fire, one of the top podcasts in the world. He gets 550,000 downloads a month, and he's interviewed everyone: Tim Ferriss, Seth Godin, Malcolm Gladwell, Kevin Harrington. I mean, you just name them, and he's interviewed them. He's crazy. And, so I'm listening to him in the audience. I'm like, so he's like 10 minutes into his speech. I went on his website. I bought his like $1,100 or $1,200 course. And that morning, I'm a little wacky, I know this, but that morning I was up at 3:30 a.m. and from 3:30 a.m. to about 8:30, I went through a majority of his course, had my podcast submitted. I had to wait a couple days, and now it's been up for like 8 days. And what's funny is there's other people at the event. They're like, "Oh my God." Like the speed of implementation is there. That's, I'm a very fast implementer. I didn't know anything about podcasts, but I just invest time and money to do things right. So yeah, we've been doing that. Still learning the ropes. I don't have cool music. I don't have a cool intro. We're working on that. We'll have the cool stuff, but I wanted to start it right away because it's just neat. It's a neat way that's really easy for me to do. So basically how we run it is we just take questions, and I'll just answer a question or two. It's been popular.
Yeah, it's been really popular. And when I'm listening to him, like, I can't believe there's more stuff that he has to put out there. Like, that there's questions that people are answering that I haven't heard you answer before. Like, it's always good to when you hear stuff again, because you're learning it over again. Yeah. But it's just like, man, there's just so much to learn. So it's this whole other avenue to learn stuff from you, and I think it's awesome for everybody. Yeah. This is my last question. I won't keep you much longer. If there was one thing you could say to someone just starting out right now, one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say, I'd probably say look at the alternative. And the reason I say something like that is when you first start building a home business, it typically sucks. It typically is information overload, it's rejection, it's total lack of results, it's just usually not fun. And so I say look at the alternative in that, okay, if you build a home business, you will create residual income, and you'll create money that allows you to have more freedom in your life. Look at the alternative. If I had stayed in my corporate job, I would not have freedom. I mean, today it's Wednesday, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I would be in a cubicle. I would not be here. I wouldn't be teaching people. I wouldn't be inspiring people. I'd be in my little cubicle, and probably making okay enough money. So it's not always about the money; it's about time. I get to take my kids all over. We do a lot of vacations. And I don't ask anyone's permission. I don't have to get time off. I just go and do it. And so my suggestion is, especially in the early beginnings of your home business, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, this totally isn't worth it, and it won't be. I mean, you're like, maybe I should quit, and it'll totally make sense. But look at the alternative. If you stay where you are, and let's say you become really good at that, like I was at, I think my last job I was making like $78,000 a year, so that's not bad. A lot of people make a decent living and have an okay life at $78,000 a year. Well, what if I had stayed there and worked my way up even higher? Okay, maybe I get to $100,000 a year, but I'm now a slave, right? Because the trick is when you go up the ladder in the corporate world, they'll pay you a little more, but they demand more. And so now you got to show up on weekends. Now you can't have that time off. Now you got to be at that meeting. Now you got to be on call when you're on vacation. That's not freedom. So it's not always about the money, it's about freedom. And just look at the alternative. If you continue without building a home business or without building residual income, what will that life represent? And it probably won't represent something very cool. And so build your home business, stay on track. I know people, look at my man Eric, 18 years. Now what would have been his alternative? Okay, he could just never create a home business and never create freedom or anything like that, and he's still working on it. It's not like he's done. But just look up the alternative, and hopefully that will keep you going.
Yeah, that's really good. I agree. For me, and sometimes I hate saying this because I have lots of friends who have their kids in daycare and they work full time, but for me it was like my alternative is putting my son in daycare, my daughter after school daycare, and it's just, I only get a few years with them, and it's just so important for me. So when I was presented with network marketing, it was just like, yes, not only did I just love the idea that I could own my own home business, but just the unlimited potential with it is just amazing. So
that's right.
So I thank you so much for doing this with me today. I appreciate it. This for me is huge. It's like one of those things that was in my vision. So, and it's happening, and it's exciting. And then you put that picture up, and it just like totally threw me off. So hopefully I didn't sound like an idiot today. But so if people want to get your podcast, it's at rayhigdon.com/podcast, right?
Yep.
They can get that. And follow your blog at rayhigdon.com/blog. And there's one of the podcasts where you said choose your pain. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I think you choose your pain. You choose the pain of either not doing this or the pain of getting through this business. And I think that for me just kind of put my mind in a different state where it was like I'm going to remember that one. So your advice on there is awesome. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sorry if I kept you too long.
Oh, not at all. Anytime. More than happy. And you're awesome. And anyone watching this should definitely be following you and following your advice and training as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. High five.
Can you have a fantastic day. Bye.
See you later.
See ya.